Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I would like to present you with Exhibit A of how justice may be blind sometimes. Thank you. Thank you. I'll be here all week. Roll the intro. So, now I finally get to do someone who I planned to do last week, but was rudely interrupted by Deadpool. So, let's finally talk about the man without fear, Daredevil. So, due to his rise in popularity due to the Netflix series, much like Green Arrow was 2 weeks ago, I'm going to talk about Daredevil because he's become more noticeable due to that amazing show on Netflix. So let's start from the beginning. Daredevil first appeared in Daredevil number 1 in 1964 and was created by writer and editor Stan Lee and writer and artist Bill Everett. Let's talk about Matt Murdock's backstory, shall we? Matt Murdock was born and raised in Hell's Kitchen, New York. He was raised by his father, who was a well-accomplished boxer known as Battling Jack Murdock. Jack Murdock, in order to support his son, also became an enforcer to a mobster known as the Fixer. Matt always wanted to be a fighter like his father, but his father refused, telling him he needed to focus on studying because he knew his son was better than that. But Matt would train behind his father's back secretly. One day when there was someone trying to cross the street, a truck almost hit them. Matt jumped in the way and shoved the person out of the way. But what ended up happening was chemicals spilled off the truck and landed onto Matt's face and getting into his eyes, causing him to go completely blind. But with that, all of his senses got heightened to the point where he can practically see in a radar vision. Despite being blind, Matt still continued his studies and his training and ended up going to Columbia University to study law, where he met his best friend and future partner, Franklin Nelson, also known as Foggy. One night, Matt decided to go to one of his father's fights, and due to the fact that Jack worked for the Fixer, the Fixer wanted him to throw the match to another boxer. Jack refused to lose in front of his son. I think he took way too much pride and wanted his son to look up to him still. So instead of throwing the fight like he should have done, he won. And on his way home that night, the Fixer had him killed. So from that point on, Matt decided to take vengeance upon the Fixer and anyone else who commits wrongdoing. He graduated from Columbia. He started his own law firm with Foggy, and then he became the man without fear and made his goal to stop the Fixer. Matt's powers include his heightened senses, because he could still pretty much see a room in radar-like vision just by a pin dropping in it. But he's also extremely athletic, and he knows how to fight, as well as him being very flexible, which makes it capable for him to leap very high or scale up tall buildings with ease. So now let's talk about his weapon, or his multi-purpose cane, as I like to call it. It's more disguised as his walking stick for him to see, but all he has to do is press a slight button and it can become a staff. It can become almost like nunchucks. or it can become like just a simple baton to hit somebody with. So he has one of the more unique all-purpose weapons just by having his necessary walking stick. But now let's talk about costumes. He has gone through an array of colorful costumes at a point, first appearing in a yellow-red costume, which was very bright, then changing over to like the classic red that most people know him for, then it's black and red, and he's had armor before on his costume, not just the spandex-looking costume. And there's the famous Miller costume, which is also in a Netflix series, where he's just wearing that all black and like a shirt wrapped around his head pretty much. So those are the variety of costumes he has, which are all equally as cool. The yellow one's kind of iffy, but hey, it was for the time, I guess. Daredevil has been part of the Avengers and has had close personal relationships with Spider-Man, Wolverine, Black Widow, and Elektra. He's had a very complicated relationship with the Punisher, as in they're not big fans of each other, even though they are both heroes, technically. And he's also had not so nice relationships with the Kingpin, Bullseye, and the Purple Man, more commonly known as Kilgrave. So, that was Beyond the Cover for Daredevil. So, I want you guys to let me know. What do you think of the Netflix series? And are you as pumped for Season 2 as I am? Because I'm really pumped. Also, if there's any other characters you would like to see me do for Beyond the Cover, and it will be anything, literally anime, cartoons, comics, books, just normal novels, just please don't be afraid to let me know in the comments or on Twitter. My handle will be somewhere in the corner or something like that, I hope. Editor, please do that. And yeah, with that being said, I'll see you on Friday, and always remember to stay nerdy.